Welcome to NC Political Tea, the show where North Carolina's political scene gets served piping hot, grassroots style. We're here to shake up the status quo with unapologetically conservative takes and a whole lot of Southern charm. From the halls of Congress to under the dome, we're exposing the deals, the drama, and the dirt that the mainstream media won't touch. Who's fighting for your freedom? Who's selling out to the woke mob? And who's about to get roasted? No fluff, no filters, and absolutely no time for spineless politics. Just bold Republican commentary, sharp analysis, and enough sass to make the left squirm. So grab your sweet tea or something stronger, and let's dive into the hottest headlines and juiciest scandals rocking the Tar Heel State. This is NC Political Tea, where the truth always gets served.
Hello. How are you?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is raining, which is better than snow. So we're good.
Is it freezing over? Is it going to freeze over?
No, I think we were in the 50s today, so I don't think we're going to hit the late 30s, the lower 30s, but it could happen.
Well,
Had to bring an umbrella down to the pool house.
Well, they're closing school here, left and right. Streets are dry. Yeah, 3 weeks in a row, parents, we've been out of school. So,
well,
if you're crazy like me,
I just need to say this out loud because it needs to be said. I don't think the legislature had any business creating a school schedule. That really is not their purpose. It should have been left to the districts.
I didn't know it was their fault. Well, shame.
It is. There's only 5 paid days for teachers now. So
interesting. Okay. Speaking of teachers, I mean, this is supposed to be in the middle of the broadcast, but I'll put it in the front because we've been talking about the House budget. The House and Senate, as you know, in North Carolina, they're at loggerheads on whose budget to pass. The House wants a skinnier budget with respect to big ticket items like a children's hospital that a lot of people think that is not needed, that's really spurred on by lobbyists, et cetera, as well as a lot of Medicaid and Medicaid expansion gimmies. And the House is holding strong on that. And so I found this video today from Keith Kidwell. I think it pretty much summarizes everything that we've said. He says it succinctly, but the important part, it comes right from the House member himself. So let's hear it.
We actually have 5 children's hospitals in North Carolina. We've cut the taxes from a high rate of 7.75% down now to 3.99 as of January 1st of this year. So those taxes have been going down. The teachers' raises, the Senate budget has a 1.2% raise for teachers. Any teachers here? Show of hands. How many of you would rather have 8.7 rather than 1.2? We're going to continue to fight for that 8.7% raise. We're going to continue to fight to do what's right for Eastern North Carolina.
Okay. And so really the whole thing is, and I want everybody to know this so you can fight back against this. When you're hearing that Republicans don't want teachers' raises, et cetera, I think Republicans, we put Destin Hall's stuff up here last week. They want to make teachers the highest paid in the Southeast with, I think, a starting salary of $50,000. Is that right?
50, 52, something like that. Yeah. That's true. They have been saying that. That's a really incredible climb quickly from what they're making now.
Yeah. But, on some level, we are hard pressed to complain about the quality of teachers and about importing teachers from foreign countries if they're being paid $32,000 a year, which is purportedly in some districts what they're getting paid.
Well, and that happens here where I live. And I'll just say this because I think it needs to be said, and teachers need to hear me say it. When you live in a community and you cannot affordably live in your community because you don't make enough money in a very respectable profession, that's really a sad statement on our state.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Republicans in the House in particular are looking to turn that around. So this is the biggest story. We talked about, did we not talk about Sambra last week? We talked about Sambra last week. And tell us about what has been discovered from Data Republican et al. And what's been going on X right now.
So Data Republican, for those of you who do not know who that is is a lady who worked in tech and is in a group, and they were able to infiltrate Sambra's website or Signal Chat. I can't, they're not going to say how they got in, web portal. They got in, doesn't matter. And they were able to get a roster of people that are part of Sembra, which is a leftist coalition out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Really, I would call them Democrat Socialists of America, which is basically communist. But their main mantra is immigration rights. I find that very ironic that they're out of Greensboro, which is also where the headquarters for the newcomers, whatever society company, I can't remember what they called it at UNCG, but so that's really what the main breaking story is about North Carolina, that we know who actually is in this organization, this gentleman right here, and it works in Greensboro. His name is Willis is his last name, Garcia's. Carlos, I think, I can't remember his first name. Anyway, I'm sorry for that. But he is one of their top dogs over there at Sembra. And I read a lot of his articles today because he's dumb enough to post them on a blog. And what he said is they target rural areas in larger counties. He gave an example of Alamance County, and they look for trailer parks and, underprivileged communities and go in and say, hey, look, we'll help you with getting your illegal husband, daughter, wife, whatever, out of jail. We'll pay for it. They're basically an underground for illegals in North Carolina. And they have recruited young people in junior high and high school.
And what do they do in junior high and high school?
Oh, they make sure
they're the lookout. I mean, we talked about the training on Thursday, and they're advertising everywhere. This is one in Raleigh. So look, I mean, this isn't protesting, guys, because when you have a sophisticated network that's interrupting law enforcement, that's not it, right? So we showed you this, etc. And this is the co-director. I get the feeling she's going to have some bad, hard times.
I do not mind doxing their headquarters in Greensboro, but you can look it up if you want to. Here's what I will tell you that I find it very interesting. First of all, I hope those people get drug in front of the General Assembly and questioned harshly. But I also think people should understand the ties these people have to South America, because the gentleman we showed earlier is actually a descendant from Colombia, where we know there's a lot of socialist communists. And these people are paid operatives, and most of their money comes from South America, from anarchists, really basically socialist anarchists who want to change America, and they see North Carolina as a large target.
Well, they're doing it in North Carolina, but they're disseminating this stuff even to Minnesota.
Their
headquarters for that. So last night, Todd Blanche was on Laura Ingraham. I'm going to play that because there could be big trouble for Sembra here in North Carolina, and not soon enough.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Todd, you just heard Jorge Ventura say that they're stopping vehicles. They're asking for IDs if they're affiliated with ICE. Isn't that actively impeding another civil liberties for free association?
Yes, and this is exactly the problem. As he said, and I'm sure it's true, not a local cop in sight. And again, this is what's happening all over Minneapolis. You have this effort by local leadership to just say, we don't care. We're going to let all this happen. And we don't care if ICE officers have their fingers bit off. We don't care if there's protests going on that are actually turned into riots. We don't care.
And right there is why we know why people get hurt, because the local cops aren't in on it. But continue, please, U.S. Deputy.
About that. And it's horrible. And we've been pounding the pavement. Don't do this. President Trump said he talked to the governor. He talked to the mayor. Please change your tactics. And we really need them to do that, or we're not going to fix this problem.
Okay, so right there, we already know that if ICE has to act as local police, which are not familiar with the community, they use different techniques, etc., they're going to probably be
these left-wing groups that have formed a kind of unholy alliance. A lot of them have different goals, but they formed an alliance to work together here, to drive ICE out, to change the narrative, to make Trump look bad and you guys look bad. Is there any progress with untangling that funding and exposing it and perhaps prosecuting?
We do have progress, and we have several ongoing investigations. And remember what was happening in December, Laura. We had a massive fraud going on all through Minneapolis, all through Minnesota, and suddenly it turned. It turned almost on a dime, and it became suddenly all about ICE, all about getting ICE out and how horrible ICE was doing. But really what we have here is a massive underground fraud network operating in Minneapolis, and we had a very strong pushback when we raised our hands and said stop. And so, yes, we have multiple investigations going on. We sent prosecutors from Maine Justice. We sent prosecutors from other U.S. attorneys' offices all over.
And they're coming here too. And so what he's saying is what we've been telling you. They're trying to change the topic. They're trying to change the subject. We can't let them get away with it. And here's how these are the laws that might have been broken by Sambra. It is illegal to obstruct or impede law enforcement. And if you're raising money as a 501c3 to do that, that may be some sort of network funding that you see down here, material support to designated organizations. What you just said blew my mind, because you're suggesting that they're connected with groups from foreign territories that might be cartels, they might be terror organizations. I know Bogota has 3 or 4 FTOs on different groups.
Well, we know the ties come from South Florida. We know that for a fact.
South Florida?
So, well, yeah, because a lot of Venezuelans, a lot of Colombians, that's how they get to America, to the U.S. They come through South Florida. It's the easiest way. And they're kind of hidden in sight. Do you know what I mean when I say that? But they're predominant. They're out there. They're basically saying, we want to take America over. We know that for a fact. And Sambra is not just in North Carolina. There's a Sambra group in Arizona. There are other places. There's one in Georgia. The Georgia one in North Carolina, they talk. They work hand in hand.
And I'm telling you, they're very pernicious. So Z. Smith Reynolds is a huge backer of them. And so they need to be investigated. The former CEO of Z. Smith Reynolds for 5 years now runs our schools. His name is Mo Green. He's the state superintendent for our schools. So the radical that donates to Sambra and other organizations that are paid, they train rioters, violent rioters.
And they do it in churches. So there was film that was uncovered yesterday of these groups of really stupid looking women who cannot speak Spanish. They sounded terrible, trying to practice their Spanish with their whistles in the middle of a church area together. And they were doing 1, 2, 3, su habla español. Like, lady, you cannot speak Spanish. You sound stupid. Well, but now we have you on film.
Well, they're doing it through all of our institutions. They're doing it through schools. Now we are starting to understand why the Democrats in North Carolina have on the books. They have a law that they want to pass that says that no law enforcement at all for churches, schools, and hospitals. They want that to be a place where these riots go on completely unimpeded by law enforcement, kind of like the no-go zones if you've been to the UK. That Muslims have in certain areas where the cops just don't go. It's unfettered access to criminals. You just wouldn't want to be caught there at all.
Well, I think, it's a good thing you bring up no-go zones, because I think about Greensboro and Charlotte and Wake and Raleigh. Those are kind of no-go zones because the sheriffs in those counties look away. And we know they do, even if there's a law.
Well, we're going to hear about that. Actually, we have Sheriff Chip Hughes that I interviewed from Craven County later on, and he will just a little snippet. We'll play that. But here's the good news. So when we look at, law enforcement and crime, which is a huge issue, we're going to go over some polls to show you that. But look at what's going on in D.C. I never thought I'd see
Robbery down 58%, burglary down.
Okay, there's our test.
Live show.
Yeah, there's our test that we are, in fact, not AI.
This is a huge one. The motor vehicle theft, all those kids that were running around taking people's cars, that's down 57%. All crime is down 26%. So is this a 30%?
All right, so that's like a model, right? That if you're doing this right, you can achieve that level of control. If they can do it in DC, they can do it anywhere.
Absolutely. And we know they're doing it everywhere. We know there's the trend based on statistical data is a 20% drop in crime. And it's probably slightly more than that, but the number that came out, I believe in January, was 20% across the country.
And what we also gave you during our last podcast is that for the first time in a long time, the life expectancy has gone up to 79 years of age. And the reason why is that the drug overdose deaths are lower. So why would that be? Closing the borders. Hello. So,
Yeah,
it's
it's because nobody at SEMBRA is doing their job.
Don't say that. I raised this because, a lot of people, even on our side included, are very hard on the president because, they don't take into account what he's done. Now, some of that is his fault. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But, once something's done, the American public the body politic doesn't have a lot of gratitude, right? Great. The borders are closed. That's one chief accomplishment that Trump has actually done and what is flowing from that. We need to really keep talking about that.
I agree with that. I agree that we do need to keep talking about it. It's interesting that, they talk about Orange Man bad, but Obama put out way more people from America than Trump has done, almost double, to be honest with you.
And more
Orange Man bad.
Yeah. Well, again, short memories around here. That's what we've got to remind people. So let's talk about polls. This is a Signal poll that just came out today that shows attitudes among, these are registered voters. Okay. So it looks like, overall, when you're talking about ICE enforcement, there's a plus 11 that are in favor of that. Okay, great. Then you go over here and look at Republicans. Obviously, the base 94% likes it. Independents, that's a huge. We just talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
A huge contingency, not only across the country in North Carolina, 7%. So the issue that Trump's doing best with is immigration. Defund ICE, shutdown, huge negativity. So if you're running a campaign out there, you've got an opponent that wants to defund ICE, you need to play that up. Yeah.
Well, here's what I have to say. Americans are American and they want to stay that way. And honestly, I think they should, this is a losing issue for the Democrats. They're making very big fools of themselves and the media is playing along with it. And I think now it's pretty obvious. Either you look at any newscast, even CNN is admitting that they're losing the war on this issue and they know it.
Well, and that's why they've got to focus on deaths, et cetera. Like Todd Blanche said, it deflects from the issue of fraud, which is another issue that voters point blank do not like.
I also think that, the fact that information can come out, in real time and that we actually can fact check it in real time and AI is there to help us, debunking all these things like that kid that his dad dumped him, that's debunked in 5 minutes, right? Or you can look at stories of there was a story of an infant left in the cold, and it was said that it was because ICE. No, it's because the parents left him in the back seat and went to protest. Like, it's easy to debunk things now.
It is. Not everyone is on X, but it's easy. Yeah, it is easy to debunk. I mean, which is why the show exists, right? We don't always, we want to provide you the talking points, but we want to help you combat this too.
You don't have to be on X to be able to use your brain. I mean, honestly, it doesn't take much. AI is everywhere now. You can easily put something in and say, is this true? Snopes is out there. I hate them, but they're out there and they sometimes do decent work.
Every now and then, right?
Yeah. The goal is to use your critical thinking skills no matter what.
Well, I think, people, voters aren't stupid.
No, they're not.
This poll kind of reflects the reality of what we believe. Deportation opinion. Okay, so overall, there's a plus 27. Republicans naturally, right? But independents and swing voters is something that we can work with. Democrats, we just can't work with.
Well, I don't want to I don't want to waste my time trying to work with them if there's no middle ground to be had, right? And here's the other thing that people are seeing the residual effects of all of these issues, and even Democrats have to admit this. Housing rentals are going down in cost. They've stopped really rising like they had. We aren't seeing fentanyl deaths like we had.
No,
Crime
definitely.
crime is going down. Grocery prices are going down. Those are not just a result of President Trump and, his economic policies. They're also because there's not as much demand on the supply.
Right. Well, then you would make the other argument that, wow, are, housing providers and grocers and retailers suffering? I'm not hearing evidence of that. Of course, I haven't done a deep dive, but of course, research reveals there's not a problem yet. But I can tell you for the consumer at this point, those data points suggest that things are loosening up a little bit.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that President Trump wants to work on that he hasn't really seen the movement on is interest rates. And we know that's going to happen because he's already named somebody.
Yeah. He has. So actually, I forgot the guy's name, but yeah, I know what he's saying. Okay. What's his name?
Wash or something. I don't know. I don't know who he is. He was an economist before, very well respected. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's kind of what's happening here. In the event that Powell leaves, right, early. Okay, so this is, very favorable. Illegals breaking the law, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So 3/4 of Americans believe that those who came here illegally broke the law in just doing that. Okay. Even, get this, what do you think about this? Even 3% of Democrats admit that.
Well, listen, there are some Democrats that aren't dumb. I'm just going to leave it there.
I mean,
I know a few, some that went to Harvard, they're related to me.
Well, you got a good friend there that went to Harvard too, but
That's right, but you're not a Democrat.
No. And I wasn't when I went to Harvard, which made my tenure there very exciting. So we're going to talk about another poll that's done right here in North Carolina. It is the
Catawba poll?
poll. Yeah, Dr. Michael Blitzer is good. He's good. That's why I'm putting the poll up. If it were trash, I would not do that. So this is who was polled, because this is very important. So you would say, wow, there's an oversampling of Democrats. I would agree with that, but they also included independents in here that lean Republican.
Oh, they say that? They say those independents lean Republican?
No. But
Okay.
but independents
I'm just
in this,
asking.
independents in the state generally do. So I think this selection is pretty good. Okay. These are the 4 big takeaways in North Carolina about Trump. So 51% disapprove. That is not unusual going into a midterm. Only 13% of Democrats approve. We're not going to get them anyway.
What do they disapprove of? His handling of immigration?
Just in general.
Oh,
No,
Trump in general.
just in general. Overall, that was the question.
Catawba County. Well, I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean, I think any president would be polling, nationally as of last week, Trump was at 44%. Again, I warned you guys, that's what, Clinton was at in 94 and Obama was at in 2010. And both years, Republicans beat their asses and took over like 1,000 state houses to control the House. That's when Newt Gingrich came in 94, remember? So that's where he is now. Just
Listen,
saying.
I don't care where he's at now. The Republicans need to get off their ass and do some work. And that means the ads have to, I haven't seen one ad on anything. They're not doing them on Facebook. They're not doing them on X. They're not doing them on the news. I don't see them. They need to start messaging. We have a primary that's going to happen here in North Carolina. And the early voting starts in February 12th. Like I haven't seen anything messaging anybody. And I don't see the CGOP helping out. They need to do some work.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that for sure. So Stein still has room to grow. I found interesting. Modest approval ratings. Independents are lukewarm. So check this out, guys. This was wild to me. Independents who weren't crazy about Trump, in fact, they didn't like him, 54% disapprove. Guess what? They don't like Stein either. What does that mean?
Well, listen, Josh Stein made some promises he hasn't kept. He promised to keep people safe, and he has backed down from his promise. He's shown us that, if you stand up to ICE like Carla Cunningham did, that he's not going to back you. He's not doing what he campaigned to do, and they see that. Also, let's be fair about this. A lot of people, especially in that poll, I'm sure were polled. I wouldn't say they all were, but some of them were probably polled in the Western North Carolina region. We really haven't seen a lot of what he promised he would bring us in state funding and help.
Yeah. And that's definitely gonna be a big deal. So that's the thing. And then obviously economy drives concern. 38% have confidence in Trump on the economy. Again, I don't think enough people are being reminded of the accomplishments. And here's where you and I may disagree. I do not like Trump's messaging on the economy. It's when he gets asked about it, he's like, what are you, stupid? The economy's great. And he said that when housing prices are still up. At the time he said it a few months ago, gas prices were still up, etc. It's sort of a disconnected reply.
Yeah, I don't agree with you. I think, my feeling on Trump and the economy is his actions speak louder than his tweets. And here's what I'll say. When you start giving young couples the ability to put away money for their child that may actually bankroll them in the future, when you start looking at ways, though I did not agree with it, but he's looking at policies to get more Americans in housing, that's a big step forward. When he starts saying, we're not going to subsidize you, we're going to incentivize you to farmers, I look at what he's doing on the individual or the tactical level, not the strategic. The market's great, because the market's not. Everybody doesn't give a damn about the market. He does, but not everybody else does. And it's not a good indicator for what's going on, frankly. But what his individual policies are doing are helping Americans.
Some are. The tariffs are not. And that needs to be reversed.
The drugs are. The drug policy is to bring, most favored nation status. I mean, I'm looking at table stakes issues. What do Americans want? They want cheap housing, cheap groceries, cheap gas, and they want low health care. Low cost health care.
I mean, the housing, I don't like. Obviously, I don't like government meddling in any type of economic market. So I don't. There are a lot of things you mentioned that I don't actually like. Will it produce like a sugar high? Sure, it will. But I don't actually like it. Tariffs are one of them. Tariffs have been a big deal, and they've been so arbitrary and capricious that the messaging is really concerning to me, because I'm telling you, 80% of Americans don't fundamentally understand what tariffs are. But I can tell you, a lot of people, listen to me, a lot of small businesses, et cetera, are hurting because of these, and they have employees and they tell them that and they know that. And so I think Trump is the Republican Party. We don't have a GOP. We don't have an RNC. We have Trump. That, for good, bad, whatever it is, that is the way. So if he doesn't communicate it, we don't hear about it. The RNC is invisible. The NCGOP,
yeah, Joe Gaither's terrible.
Completely. And so, and for that reason, if Trump isn't on his game with messaging, we're screwed. So we have put all of our eggs in one basket, and we are here at the final midterm of his presidency. So what I'm saying is, unfortunately, we need to rely upon him for discipline. As you're well aware, I think that do no harm is the first thing of a vice president. And unfortunately,
that didn't work for this one.
Get ready. Unfortunately, our vice president has not adhered to that and has been caught saying things like, I don't know, things like, for the first time in a while,
come back.
Okay, or you don't have to apologize for being white in America. Now, you and I know what he means, but again, that's going to
need to be said, though. That's the messaging he makes is not stuff we need to hear. We know it.
Yeah,
not that you're a scumbag.
Yeah, and he also said I was a scumbag, which the whole nation disagrees with. I know, so
of course,
I'm going to leave it there. But and the other things that he said, I mean,
he's cringy.
I have to say it. These are messaging channels.
Yeah.
And by the way, another messaging channel that we have we have willingly in this party offloaded was TPUSA. So we have willingly said, the RNC has willingly said, the GOP willingly said, sure. And it's understandable. I mean, my God, Charlie Kirk was murdered in front of our very eyes. It hasn't even been 6 months. So I can understand that. But then they go and have Tucker effing Carlson. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I do. You mean Qatar Carlson?
so the messaging organs of our party are not traditional like they were, say, under Bush. May not like him, but we had a traditional messaging structure and blah, blah. It's with Trump, it's with JD Vance, God help us all, and TPUSA, who are, so anyway, I digress.
Messaging is a big deal. And I think you and I were speaking when the cabinet met the other day, and everybody had pretty impressive news until you got to JD Vance. And he was like, I don't have anything. It kind of looked like a frat boy at a party.
Didn't he say, I'm only here for the coffee?
Yes. It was very inappropriate, not very strong-minded. It didn't give you a sense of confidence in the ability that he's going to be the next guy. Just saying.
He better not be. Anyway, I digress. Okay, economy drives concern. It just does. 46% say they're not confident at all. That can turn around. It needs to turn around. Even among Republicans, 40%, 2% are very confident. This is in North Carolina. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that leads to a low turnout.
Oh, listen, I'm expecting we will have a low turnout, especially what we know is if the weather is bad, which according to the groundhog, we aren't going to have a good one. We have bad primaries. They don't have good primary numbers.
Okay. Well, I mean, we need to stress early voting. I guess. Of
course we do.
And banking the vote, etc. Okay. Takeaway: inflation, immigration burn hot. Voters rank inflation and immigration as top concerns. Great. Because we have one, we need the other. Deep party divides on how either issue is handled. Okay. Now we're cooking. Republicans are mobilized by immigration fears. Okay. We got you. We got you. Democrats voice concern over affordability. Few voters feel that the party has strong solutions. So give me a couple of things, a couple of to-dos for county GOPs and for people running for messaging.
I think the messaging truly I personally believe that messaging should be as local as possible. You need to show how it's going to affect your local community. Nobody cares about, Michael Watley unless you can show why it affects your local community. Why does Adam Smith, who's running in NC11, why is it important for us to get him in? Let me just give you my speech on that. It's because we have a rhino in there now that would vote for transgender funding. Like, that's not what Republicans voted for. So if you can relate back to the local community as local as possible, your message is stronger. And I think also Republicans need to show the good things about having the immigration issue work.
Like what we just talked about.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of rhinos, I think you said something about rhinos.
I probably did.
I'm sure, but it's a constant topic of conversation. I call them trans Republicans.
That's a pretty good way to put it.
Somebody texted me today and said, please stop using that and start using fluid Republicans.
What Republicans?
Like gender fluid.
It's the same thing.
We're not fakey. We're going to go over some of that, but it kicks off with the one who. Yeah.
The Fed, would you
that
like
we
to
really
see Jeanine Pirro drop the investigation into Chairman Powell to help? Senator Tillis has basically said that he's not going to really be working with the administration. Would you like to see the
They've clearly had a parting of ways.
Yeah. So what do we tell you? How long ago was this? It was a long time ago because my hair was short. We've been telling you forever. So we're going to put this up. This is a replay of We Told You So, particularly you telling us so.
Foreign doctors. They both have licenses.
Wait. Okay. No, this is where I go off on foreign doctor.
Yeah, don't do that one.
Okay, no, this is the one.
Well, it's quite an I told you so moment to me. I mean, we've been telling you guys. I mean, we've been pointing out what you guys have been pointing out.
And I don't know if you caught the first one there where I said, I don't think he's running, because he was doing things so flagrantly offensive to the base, whether it was tanking Trump's nominees, whether it was saying that we're lying about FEMA. I just had a sneaking suspicion.
Well, and the rumors have been abounding. We've known that. You and I behind the scenes have said, some people say he's got health issues. Some people say he's just going to, get a war chest of money and try to use that for influence. There have been rumors around. We've heard them. This weekend was not a surprise. Now, the way he did it was a little bit of a surprise, because that temper tantrum that he threw, well, that was quite surprising.
Well, I mean, so we heard about an hour before Senator Tillis made a statement online, and we came out with a statement. He didn't just come out with a statement. I think he made another statement online referencing Mark Robinson. And if you are not from here, I'll tell you, Mark Robinson was our Republican nominee for governor. And many thought that Tillis was responsible for a royal screw job that Mark Robinson got. And
he was. And so again, that's illustrative of what he does. He doesn't just bow out. He's got to have people with him.
Well, and frankly, he throws temper tantrums or drama, scenes of drama. I don't know if you caught that one scene where he said, I might be a rhino on that one show. I was like, might be? You think we censored you for nothing?
So, that's just, so it seems like he wants to be as obstinate as he can possibly be during his final year in the Senate.
He wants to be obstinate. He wants us to know that he's purple, not red, which we knew already. We voted against him for that reason. But he kind of feels like, and so just take this the way I mean it, he kind of has a cult following, which I don't understand. I don't understand the people that follow him.
It is too, and they're mean as shit. They're the ladies in the GOP all around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll come after you if you talk about Tom Tillis, which is weird to me, because it's kind of like Harvey West. How do you defend him? He's an idiot, first of all, but he's scummy. He doesn't represent anything about our party values.
But those are also Michael Watley's crew.
Really? Really? That's what I've been saying forever.
But speaking of Senate, we have talked about Michelle Morrow. She entered this race in the last minute. She sent out a 10-page manifesto this weekend.
It was so hard to read.
It said I 186 times. It was cult-like, warrior for Christ mixed with this is about me, but it is about me. So I wrote, this is the first thing I've written about her. She's running against her own base, and she put out what I call the Morrow Manifesto. Now, we don't have the 6 hours required to go over
to that 10-page letter. But listen, it was small print too. It wasn't like big print, y'all.
10 pages. And, I just pointed out the irony. She says she's grassroots darling of the base and a good Christian that will unite the base. And then she absolutely named names and went after everyone in the base, basically, used I 186 times. And I said, look, when you read that, it was a great framework for a cult. It's terrible for a statewide election. It's like a David Koresh feel to it.
I felt like she was writing in her diary, trying to validate herself for her therapist. That's exactly what I felt like when I read that. It was very cringy.
Or like a court case, or listen, she's unqualified. She's unfinanced. In fact, we found out this weekend, she hasn't even registered her campaign with the FEC.
Well, she also has, first of all, that was a targeted text message that was sent out to people, but we know we got our hands on it. And when I started reading it, I was like, wow, 10 pages to validate yourself as a candidate. If you can't do that, listen, you know what we say in sales? If you can't do the elevator pitch from the bottom to the top in that elevator, you're not getting that sale.
Well, I mean, the Eiffel Tower, if you were to go and traverse the Eiffel Tower a couple of times, it wouldn't scratch the surface. So look, she's not serious. She's actually a buffoon. She's a buffoon for a lot of things that she said, a lot of things that she's done. Look, Michelle Moore, if you're listening, you can't even register your campaign. So you've been fundraising for what, 3 months, 2-3 months without being registered. Where's the money going? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, well, so here's what I really took out of that email that bothered me. Why are you talking about your kid? You're in the middle of a court case and you're talking about your kid in an email to strangers. Like someone who's been through that is the last thing I would put in an email to total strangers trying to validate my position in a divorce. Shameful. That is the biggest move as a pawn I've ever seen.
She said rough things about her husband as well that isn't 100% supported by the court documents, portraying herself as a abuse victim. It was rough. And again, her resume, she's made her resume a Christian homeschool mom. That's what she made her resume. That's her. She put in the letter, warrior for Christ, etc.
I would just like to reiterate a couple things that I know that have taken place because I'm not afraid to say them. Like when you have your sister come to a meeting to say something that has no value. Mother, sister, dad,
mother.
Her dad write an email saying what a terrible article, whatever. If you can't do your fighting on your own and you have to send out a 10-page letter, you've already lost.
When you say yes to an interview and we're working with your team to get you on, you have an interview and we've given all the candidates a fair interview, like, Don Brown came on, etc. And you set us up to punk us and to attack us online. No me gusta. No me gusta.
Now I'm going to say it the redneck way, bitch, you're going to get what you get.
Well, I mean, these are the things that people want to know about. If you're, a 10-page screed and if you cannot take the heat of being in a Senate campaign, probably should get out. But anyway,
but don't be dragging me in your crappy letter because I know you didn't name me and it's a good thing you didn't, but that's okay because I read your letter and it's a shame that you try to put it off on another candidate. You don't want to put it out there the right way, Michelle. You want to say it as if we're Don Brown supporters. I'm happy to say that I am a Don Brown supporter, but I'm also happy to tell you that I never put 1 inch of my divorce or my child in public until she was 32 today.
It's very sad, very unfortunate that that's happening. And then everyone was dragged into it. She's trying to make this Senate primary a clown show. I just wanted to point that out.
Doing it.
Well, to my knowledge, Don Brown hasn't acknowledged her. None of the other candidates have acknowledged her. So she's on her own, she's on her own. So
he actually called me and said that was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen when her mother walked into his event.
Her mother walked into an event and lost her shit and told everybody there at this event that Michelle was going through a divorce. And everybody there that there's child custody. So she aired out Michelle's dirty laundry at a campaign
in public.
It was super awkward for everyone. And I don't know why she did it. And
he was lost. Know what was going on. He had no idea. Because he's a gentleman.
Well, I know a lot of lawyers, and I think they probably tell you don't campaign if you're in the middle of a divorce.
Maybe that's a little too late.
Maybe
too late for that.
Now we know why. But okay. So anyway, we've been covering sheriff races, and there's some crazy shit going on. I mean, really. But there's not crazy shit going on. Luckily, is Craven County because Sheriff Chip Hughes throwing up job. I mean, we've shown the podcast a couple of times. There's a tri-state or tri-county partnership with the SBI. They're just kicking ass there. So I just want to show just a little snippet of our interview, which aired all on Sunday.
Are allowed to freely operate, and I would say in some cases without any interference whatsoever.
Yep.
Nobody has a constitutional right to bring that garbage into our counties without us fully going after them with every resource that we've got. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And my message to them is, don't come into Pamlico, Craven, or Carteret County expecting to sell fentanyl or any type of narcotics that's going to take that's going to harm our citizens. If you do, be prepared for us to come after you with the fullest extent of every resource we've got. And we've got a district attorney that's ready to lock them up as well.
Okay. I mean, how awesome would it be to have a sheriff like that?
Well, I don't have a sheriff like that. We'll get into that story later because it's kind of a good one. But my sheriff has a very soft voice. He talks like this. Anyway, let's get to it.
Like it. You don't care for him at all, do you?
No. I'll tell you why I don't like him, because he's a liar and he lets people die on his watch. Prisoners and local citizens, private citizens die on his watch, and he will go after women, private citizens, when they make memes about him in fun for political campaigning. Also, he did offer to help someone get a harassment complaint against me once.
Okay, well, we got to deal with him. He's up for re-election, and you're going to make sure he's not
I'm
re-elected.
dealing with him right now. Trust me.
Let's go.
Listen, when you set the trap and they're dumb enough to fall in it, we'll just get to the other sheriffs that are dumb in a second. But
shall we?
Yeah, let's just get to them. We'll talk about mine later.
So what I found interesting is I talked to. By the way, I just want to tell you guys, I am going to go on a ride along with Craven County sheriffs as they do their business. I'm going to go in a couple of weeks. Going to let you guys know how it goes. But when I talked to him about the vape shops we've been talking about, this blew my mind. Check this out.
We're also finding that a large amount of U.S. currency was being sent to Yemen by about 90% of these vape stores.
Wow.
We also identified some of the proprietors of these vape stores to be on a terrorist watch list that were within a mile of our military installation in Havelock. So we have been very successful in prosecuting and shutting these stores down so much that my investigator that oversees that bureau within my office has been sent across the state to teach other sheriffs and chiefs how we do it.
What did I tell you?
Well, listen, that guy rocks as a sheriff. You can just tell. He knows it. He was enthusiastic to talk about it, and he's spreading the word. And you were right. Terrorists, cash, drugs. You're right.
Well, I mean, we're very anti-terrorist here. We're going to go over some more sheriffs in a second. We're very anti-terrorist here. That's why we oppose the foreign doctors law that, by the way, I'm going to tell you, I just spoke with leadership today. They called me and told me that they are working on the foreign doctors law to make it better and stronger, and they will do it. But let's take a little trip from way back when. This is when I had the short hair. This is weird. This must be a while back, but because I've got an update on one of the authors of the foreign doctors bill, and no me gusta. I'm not happy with him. So we're going to run this.
I'm in the same clinic, and there's the other doctor that you need to practice the same tele.
Because it's not clearly written.
Well, it is clearly written. Well, it's clearly written so that Blue Cross Blue Shield can staff all foreign doctors who are not qualified and taking Americans and nurse practitioners out of their jobs and pay them peanuts and drive down the wages for every doctor. Look, doctors that go to ECU, UNC, they are not going to stay here. They're not going to compete for peanuts.
Well, and there's another component to this, the 14th Amendment, where this really violates, the rights of Americans to compete fairly for a position because the criteria is different. I think that's one piece that nobody talks enough about that really needs to be brought to the forefront. And if you guys don't want to acknowledge it, let me just say, I talk to recruiters every day, all day as part of my job, and they're telling me that people are coming to them for these jobs.
See, and that's the thing. We're just talking about the job aspect of it, but it's so much more. Potentially allowing terrorists into the country. I mean, we had an ISIS plot foiled here on New Year's Eve.
And there's probably more that we don't even know about. I think I heard that sheriff in Craven County say they got people that were like wanted terrorists. Like,
Yeah, on a
imagine that.
terrorist watch list.
Correct.
Yeah, you're not properly vetting, etc. Well, look at this. Grant Campbell, you old so-and-so. He's
What,
one of the
disagree healthier? What? What?
He's one of the 2 doctors in the House that are Republicans, and I say to you, trans Republican. He's one of the doctors that had this, allowed the Senate to put in a poison pill into the Doctors Compact Law, and now he's having a healthier debate. They want to call it a debate. I'm going to show you how that's bullshit with Senator Mohammed, who is a vicious Jew hater. Yeah,
radical.
He's very much of a radical. Let's see. Okay, so let me just show you the organization itself. If I can remove this. Okay, hang on. Okay, so this is the national organization. And just so you know, whoops, I have no idea what that's.
Don't be putting him up there. We haven't got to him yet.
I mean, what am I doing? First of all, let's go to Muhammad and put him up there. What is going on? So this jackass in the Senate, he wanted to stop all conversation of the murder of Irina Zruska. He wanted to make it a crime to use their image, likeness, etc., in political ads, saying that Democrats like Josh Stein et al. Created the conditions by which she was murdered.
I don't have any words for that guy. I've gotten in X fights with him. He's a dum-dum.
Well, and he's walked out, supported Hamas, etc., as you might imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Transgenderism. Yeah, again, so what, Grant, what are you doing? Dude, what are you doing? You got the foreign doctors bill, which is going to kill people. You did 3 mea culpa videos that looked like you were a hostage in a hostage video trying to explain yourself. And you explained yourself into a corner with exactly the same allegations we were making. So thank you for that. You confirmed it. But you knew before you asked your colleagues in the House to vote on it, you knew it has no supervision that any doctor could come here from any shithole country with any type of education and get a license. Margo, it's not provisional. It's a full, if this were a license, it's like you get off the plane, congratulations. Zero supervision for 4 years. Okay, I know you know, but I'm still pissed.
I know you and should be. Listen, this isn't about you and I because we do know it. It's the people in the audience that don't know that this is for 95 counties, 96 counties out of 100?
Clinics in 91 counties. Every hospital. They can go into every hospital. Let me remind you, unsupervised. Yes. So let's just say that some guy in Karachi who has it. Uh-oh, my computer's not plugged in. Sorry, guys. I'm going to put this up again. Okay.
Who dat?
Huh?
Who are these people?
Oh my God, my battery, guys, is going out. Okay, thank God. Oh, who are these people? Okay, sorry. Let me explain these. So the little talk that Grant is doing, okay, he's doing it for an organization. These are the people leading it. She, her, he, him. The girl that's running it, advocate for human rights for years, driven by a deep belief in the power of philanthropy and and a bunch of bullshit. So it's left-wingers, highly progressive organization. Grant, what are you doing? This is one of the guys that's on the board, Jason Syme. You see who he's in the picture with? Oh, yes.
Who is that?
Oh, yes. Big-time Democrat, the guy from Texas. He's in with America Votes. Read under America Votes, the coordination hub of the progressive community. So I ask again, Grant Campbell, who was one of the white coats that stood up and said, you can count on me, right?
What a night in technology.
What a night. I'm telling you, everything that could go wrong tonight is, but you know what? We're living. We're thriving even.
But tell us about how about this organization? Is that a leftist organization?
Why, yes, it is.
It is. Of course it is.
This Healthcare United is a left-wing organization, and Grant is coming up there to disagree healthier.
That whole thing looks bizarre. First of all, why would you put yourself in a position to debate a senator, a North Carolina senator, unnecessarily? What is there to gain in this?
There's no debate. It's to debate healthier. He is a far left lunatic, number one, and you're going with a progressive organization. Grant, what do you think's going to happen to you?
They're going to make lots of videos about you. That's what's going to happen.
I question you again. I question you. Okay.
Ixnay on the go A.
The funny thing, I know Latin, but I don't know Pig Latin.
That's like, don't go.
Okay.
Oh, look.
So let's talk about sheriffs behaving badly, because you can't even keep a straight face with this. What's the deal with this fella?
Okay, so this is the Graham County Sheriff, which is the next county over from me, for those of you that don't know.
Yes.
And this lovely hunk, just kidding, was having an affair with a county commissioner's wife, decided that he should not be transparent about it, but everybody knew. There's a lot of things that happened, but some of the things that took place were he contacted Mike Causey's office at the insurance commissioner's office to try to get the commissioner that he was messing around with his wife under investigation by the insurance commissioners. He also had an employee that worked for him that he said, hey, look, I need you to make a fake account and try to what is it you do? Fish. I don't know. Catfish this guy. Then he married her. They got divorced, I guess, and he married her. And he still proceeded to try to use his power as the sheriff, which is a no-no, to take this county commissioner down. On top of that, he had some other issues. There's a gentleman running named Steve Odom, who was the county chair for the Republican Party. Very good man, had a terrible accident at one point. He had some liens on his properties, I guess, that they just let go. They never went after them. Well, as soon as Steve decided to run for sheriff, guess what? The sheriff tried to enforce those liens. So really what you're seeing is using his public office for personal gain and power.
And dingling games. They're out there playing dingling games.
that guy is. And he, just so you know, there's been a motion by Ashley Welsh, our DA here, because he falls within my district, to remove him from office.
Okay. Well, there's another sheriff allegedly playing out here playing the dingling games. June 2025. Curtis Cochran.
This is 2 counties over from me.
Okay.
And listen, this is kind of a sad story in a way, because this guy clearly has dementia. He's in his 70s. He clearly has dementia, but he has a thing for young girls. So people were just letting him be the sheriff. He decided to go pick up some young chicks and solicit them, and he was caught doing that. And once again, our badass district attorney, Ashley Welch, said, I don't think you need to be a sheriff anymore. We're going to just take you out of office.
A lot of dingling games being played.
I wonder if we'll get a 3-county sweep.
That would be horrific. So this is a sheriff that is not in trouble. Rowan County Sheriff. He's running again. He's got a couple of people that's running against him in the primary, but I can tell you, this guy's fighting back because he's had some problems. He had a couple of deputies that were caught stealing stuff from evidence room. There was something taking care of that. The thing that pissed me off the most is
my sheriff.
That's some ongoing coverage. We will issue with that. But he had a canine die. That's what pissed me off the most. But look, this guy's coming out swinging because somebody dropped a dime on him and reported him to Dave Bolak. So I just want you to look at his video. He's rather indignant, but he's going to tell you what the results of this audit
Us, we did not know this investigation was going on. The North Carolina State Auditor has been poring over the financial transactions of this office and myself. They received complaints anonymously on their tip line that I, as sheriff, had been basically stealing money by using my P card illegally, using the county vehicle inappropriately, and also purchasing excessive and inappropriate items. I am excited to tell you that we received here at the Rowan County Sheriff's Office a perfect and clean audit. I really like some of the headlines of this. Here's the report. I really like what it says here in yellow. I've circled it in red, but to make it easier for you to see, the headline of it under what we found. What did the state auditor find? He said he found
Look at this.
no evidence of wrongdoing at the Rowan County Sheriff's Office.
I love it.
No evidence of wrongdoing. I was also accused of improper P card purchases, even illegal P card purchases, and excessive and inappropriate P card purchases.
I
What did
love
the state
this
auditor
guy.
find?
Look at
Listed in
it.
this report, no evidence of improper P card purchases.
He
by
had
the
it
sheriff.
laminated.
I
And
love
For the
this.
last year, you've heard people complain that we wasted money on vehicles on a boat that's too big, on motorcycles for veterans. And of course, you know that we purchased that on a state grant through the legislation, not by use of county tax dollars, but still, the state auditor looked into that. And you know what he found? No evidence of excessive or even inappropriate.
so he goes on, but I think
He's a winner.
that's the way to take out these people is to go over it, laminate your shit, and say, listen, facts.
That's
Facts.
right. Come with the facts.
Don't come
Our
with any
sheriff
bullshit.
can't do that.
Well, I am waiting to see what happens for you, but we're going to end it tonight with this. So we've covered the gamut.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. And I can't wait till Thursday. Can you?
No, I think Thursday's going to be. Listen, Thursday will be 1 week to early voting starts. It's a big
Okay.
deal. There's a lot going on. Things are going to change dramatically in the next couple of days because the parties are going to start getting into their business. They're really going to have to, get the people moving to the polls towards next week, make sure they've got their bases covered. We have debates all over the state.
Yeah. My phone has been insane all day, and I haven't answered it. By the way, if you've been calling me today, I'll get back to you. I promise. But
You can call me.
yeah, you can call Margo instead.
I'll be your secretary.
I'm big into not answering my phone. I apologize, but I mean, everyone's getting into position. Volunteers are getting out there, etc. So it's going to start popping off.
And the
So-
mudslinging is just going to get worse from here on out, folks. Just get ready. The mudslinging from campaigns is going to be atrocious from starting this Thursday through March 3rd. And then from there on out, it's going to be the Democrats and Republicans.
You and the Democrats are the enemy, right?
Yeah.
So make no mistake about it, that they are the enemy. They've declared themselves the enemy. And I don't like to say this party is bad, this party is good. I think we've made the case pretty succinctly, just by comparing the policy with the Democrats.
Yeah, I do want to remind people, listen, you should be getting a notice from your local GOP of when your convention is. It's going to come up in March. Please attend your convention. If you want nonpartisan elections to be partisan in your county, then you need to go make a resolution. If you want to make changes at the state level, you need to go to your county party and become a credentialed delegate to go to the district and then the state. So please be on the lookout. Those announcements should be coming out this week.
She pressured me last year to go. Not only you, but I got about 6 phone calls, etc. I remember I was out doing something and I went in holy jeans and flip-flops. So that's how much guilt Margo laid to bear.
I'm good at the guilt.
Better than a Jewish mom.
That's Minch.
Yeah. So you're made it to Minch status. But all right, guys, we'll have a good evening. We have plenty of time to bug them, so we're gonna keep staying on them. But anyway, if you haven't signed up to our Substack, what the hell is wrong with you? Do it. Do it now. NC Political Tea. Most of it's free. Sign up right now. Keep up with the latest updates. Thank you very much. Send this to 10 people, and we will see you.
Go vote when get your posse together and get ready to go vote.
Oh yeah, go vote. Definitely go vote.
You got a
We
week
ready?
to plan it.
All right, I think we're leaving now.
That's a wrap on today's NC Political Tea. We hope you're leaving sharper, spicier, and ready to take on the political craziness in the Tar Heel State. If you loved what you heard, or even if it made you mad, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this show with your friends, family, and that one coworker who just needs the truth. Follow us on social media to stay in the loop and get your daily dose of conservative fire. And remember, here in North Carolina, the grassroots grows stronger when we stand together. Until next time, keep the faith, keep up the fight, and don't let the left water down your tea. This is NC Political Tea, where we spill it like it is.